What is up, though, Lions fans? We're back. Reluctantly, we're back. I don't want to be here today. But you know what it is when you see me in front of TV? Number one, the Motor City Cats are indeed back at it. Number two, we came to give you stats, not none of that static. Number three, perhaps the most important number of them all, number three. We want to make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic and you may be asking yourself how. Don, how, Mr. P? Does one keep their Lions news pragmatic when the Lions suck ass? Well, uh, very, very simple. Glad you asked. I mean, I actually don't care that you asked today, but just smash the like button, subscribe, and share. And eventually, I mean, if sharing is indeed caring, I don't know if you want to share this news with your mothers, your brothers, your fathers, your sisters, your cousins, your uncles, your sisters, your brothers, your mother, father, sisters, brothers, you name it. You name it. Maybe you should share it with your enemies. If you're a Lions fan, because today we're going to get into some uncomfortable conversations. No, I'm not Emmanuel Acho. No, not at all. Anyway, what up, though, everybody in the chat? What up, though, Jody Carruthers? What up, though, Pierce Sargent? What up? We're going to talk about some things. I'm telling you, I don't want to be here today, y'all. I don't want to be here. Says am I the only one who refuses to deal with the social madness of Black Friday? I have never gone shopping on Black Friday. Well, Bears won versus Eagles side. Right. So that's the I see my money always seems to be tied up when it's Black Friday. You know what I'm saying? Got money tied up in everything. Brad got some explaining to do. Oh, you are right. And Dad does too now. Yeah. That one particular third, we're gonna get to it. If we miss the playoffs this year and next year, Brad gotta go. I don't know if I don't know if it's gotta be and the next year. All right, we're gonna jump into it, man. We're gonna jump into it because we got some things that we got to talk about. And as I said, these conversations are uncomfortable as hell. I don't want to have these conversations. I don't want to be here today. I'd rather be asleep right now. Okay. Or out working, making money. What up, though, Belinda Brown? I'd rather be anywhere else but here. Now, the people in the chat, the illustrious chat, love y'all. But the topic that we got to talk about today is not a topic that I enjoy. I'm not enjoying the Lion season. No, not enjoying the Lion season. We know we're going to have to hear from Ron Winarski today. We know we're going to have to hear from Bears fans today. That's crazy. That's crazy. I always enjoy talking about we good. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Y'all seen the thumbnail? The thumbnail says, "How did we lose it?" And there's Aiden Hutchinson on the thumbnail. Now, I was going to use the other thumbnail that I had used previously with "How did we use it? How did we lose it?" And Goff was on there, but I did not want people to misconstrue what I was saying. I did not want to tell people that I was putting this game on Jared Goff. First of all, F the Packers. F Jordan Love and his smug ass face, like he's just under no pressure at all. Like he just sits there, like you don't, to have a nondescript face is something you have to work on. It's not normal. He's a psychopath. It's not normal for you to just sit there and act like nothing bothers you. People tell me I can't control my facial expressions all the time. There's a person in my life that used to tell me all the time, expressions actors. It's something you have to train to do. Your face naturally displays the emotions that you are feeling. It is a subconscious reaction. It is not something that you can control without effort. Jordan Love's face doesn't move. Pisses me off. Move your damn face. He sits there with that dumb look on his face for the entire day. Matt Floor's beta male ass. We lost to Matt LaFleur. The man who last year damn near cried, was fighting back tears. Not like Dan Campbell, manly tears. No. Biatch tears. Because he was getting manhandled by Dan Campbell. That man. We lost to that man. The same man that when Dan Campbell decided to go for it on 4th down to ice the game, and they got the icing on the cake. This man was like, oh, F off. This man, Matt LaFleur. I don't generally hate people based off of football. Jeffrey O'Hell no Cuda, that's one thing. I hate Jordan Love, his face. I hate Matt LaFleur, his beta male ass. These are people. I know I'm in the space, in the podcast space, and I'm not big enough yet for you to say that I'm in the media. But I would love to be in the big enough within the podcast space where I would have an opportunity to meet Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love and tell them I don't like you. Okay? That's my message. We lost to them twice. We lost to them in our house. Now, there are a lot of calling plays. We managed to score 7 points against the Packers. We managed 24 this game. We wasted, now I can't say we wasted 4 possessions. We wasted 2 possessions. The first 2 possessions that we had in the game were not a waste. It was a figuring out. Okay? And then we largely figured out this defense. And we're going to talk about the difference between the defenses. But also in the first game of the season, the defense played a little bit better than what they did yesterday. Okay? Because yesterday was some BS. Y'all see the title of the show? The defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. And there's a reason for that. And before game, I'm going to get to y'all's comments because I know y'all are champing at the bit. This wasn't on golf at all. It wasn't. It wasn't. That's why I didn't put him on the thumbnail. Didn't want him on the thumbnail. Didn't want people to think that I was saying anything about Goff. Goff ripped off a 15-yard run. Who had that on their bingo card? My man's 4.840 was on full display. Frank coming back solves a lot of that. Let's hope. Because you know who his name's not Bartolo. I know his name is Tristan. We're going to talk about that. You catch Shannon Sharp with Ocha yesterday. They spent 10 minutes bagging Tesla for failing to show effort blocking. That was his biggest pro on draft day. Kind of wild video. I did not. I only catch. I used to be an avid watcher, but Shannon Sharp can't. You're gonna go talk about a team. You're gonna talk about a game, and you can't pronounce anybody's. Do I do that? I'm a much talking about someone. I know their freaking name. So no. I just feel like he's just lazy and he goes with the same takes all the time. I said if the Lions want to win a Super Bowl with Goff, they have to build around Aiden Hutchinson and the defense, something Brad Holmes refuses to do. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get it. I know y'all impatient. I know. Should be interesting. I don't care about paying, Scott. I don't care about paying because it's not my money, right? And the salary cap the salary cap's not real, and they've done an expert job at showing you why it's not real. So the argument about paying, we're not talking about that. I've done 2-3 videos and 2-3 shows about the salary cap, so we're not going to talk about paying. We don't care. I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. I'm not going to entertain who we got to pay. I don't give a damn who we have to pay. Okay? Because nobody thought we were going to pay JMO, and we paid him, and we got him under extension. We got him here for 5 more years. We're not talking about payment. And I'm not snapping on you, Scott, but I'm tired of people talking about payment. It's a freaking farce. It's not our money. We don't give a damn. I don't care. They have to, it's their job. It's their job to pay who they have to pay. It's their job to get them under contract. And guess what? Maybe there are some people we shouldn't be paying. Maybe we need to stop trying to pay every goddamn draft pick that we have and freaking go out and do something other than draft. Play calls didn't lose the game. Execution lost the game. There was one stupid play call. The running up the middle on 4th and 3 when you had done it on 3rd and 2 and you lost the yard. That was the stupid play call. The next 4th down call was Jared Goff throwing it behind Jameson Williams as he's running wide open and probably would have scored a touchdown. We'll talk about that. All right. So today, I'm just telling y'all come with some silly ass takes in the chat. I'm firing off. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna do it. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna pussyfoot. I'm not gonna do none of that. You come with some silly ass takes. I'm firing off in the chat. You tell me how terrible JMO is. I'm gonna tell you freaking 7 catches, 141 yards, and a touchdown. And who else did anything from the receiver position? If you do it today, I'm firing off. I'm sorry. If you leave, you leave. If you stay, you stay. But I'm firing off. I'm not doing it today. Today's not the day. The goddamn Bears. We found out today that the Bears are better than we thought. We found that out today. And that's a hard pill to swallow. So I'm not happy today. I told y'all I didn't want to be here today. I'm not dealing with it. If you new here, thank you. If you stay, you stay. If you go, you go. Today ain't the day for me. I feel you, Mr. Detroit City. But you say that every week. You say that every week. All right. Here's what we all know. I told y'all, I think it was last week, maybe the week before. We were talking about Philly fans. I told y'all need to be more like Philly fans in one way. I hate Philly fans, but in the way that they demand excellence. See, the Detroit Lions have, the Detroit Lions fans are busy all shucksing and gee whizzing. Okay? Not everybody. You know what I'm talking about. My chat, y'all interact with me on a daily basis. You know I'm not talking about y'all. But there is a certain segment of the fan base, and it's a very loud segment of the fan base. We call them Brad bots. We call them whatever we want to call them. Who believe that certain players and certain GMs and certain coaches and certain are beyond reproach. I'm a very balanced person. I can tell you that my favorite player, J-Mo, messed up. Okay? I can tell you he messed up, and I can tell you when you are being unreasonably harsh because you harbor some sort of feelings against him. I can tell you Jahmyr Gibbs didn't help you in the NFC Championship game when he fumbled the football. Jahmyr Gibbs is my favorite running back after Barry Sanders. There's Barry Sanders and there's Jahmyr Gibbs. It's not even close. Okay? This also certain segment of the fan base doesn't realize we've never won anything. I told y'all after we lost that game yesterday, I told y'all about the arrogance of the fan base and how there were people with the audacity to come in here and say they didn't care about the freaking division and it didn't matter. We just need to make the playoffs. Okay, here's an analogy. I don't care about studying as long as I pass the test. If you study, you'll pass the test. So why not study? Why try to pass the test without giving yourself the knowledge, without equipping yourself for the test? Why? Why would you do that? So all the people that thought that they didn't care, oh, we don't care about the North. We don't have to win the North. We just need to get to the playoffs. Well, dum-dum, winning the North automatically puts you in the playoffs. Now we are in the hunt. Do you understand this? We are 7-5 in the hunt. The Chicago Bears have won 9 games. We have won 7. Can we understand this? What up, E-Fog? The Chicago Bears are first in the division. The Chicago Bears are currently the best team in the NFC North. Chicago, who put up 24 points on the Philadelphia Eagles. You couldn't muster more than 9. And the Eagles had a similar offensive outcome because their offense is garbage. Eagles game was on Goff. This game was on the defense and the pass rush. That game was on Johnny Moe because he couldn't do this. This game was on that person because they couldn't do this. This game was on that unit because it couldn't do this. When are we going to get back to playing complementary football when it doesn't have to be, or where everyone doesn't have to be perfect, but everyone does carry their weight? When the Detroit Lions put up 24 points, and it should have probably been, I'm going to say 38. Okay? I'm going to say 38 or at least 31. Okay? When the Detroit Lions put up 24 points against a struggling Green Bay offense. Green Bay's offense wasn't good coming into this game. They were struggling to put up points. They lost to the damn Panthers. They struggled against the Cardinals. They lost to the Browns. They tied a Cowboys team that wasn't good at the time. And oh, by the way, just beat the Chiefs on Thanksgiving. And they're coming to town next Thursday night. Oh, by the way, this ain't going to be easy. But that team at that time wasn't good, and they were very undisciplined, which is the only reason why it was a tie. Because they outplayed the Green Bay Packers back then. So we let this team who's struggling against everybody else come in our house and lay the smackdown. Now, it was a 7-point win, and it wasn't, it wasn't one of those games where you're like, oh, it wasn't as close as the score. No, it was a competitive football game. And our defense, which failed us all game, couldn't be the ones that helped us to win that game. They couldn't get the ball back to give the offense an opportunity. But when they play against the freaking Philadelphia Eagles, oh, they look phenomenal. But guess what? The Philadelphia Eagles offense is cheeks. They showed you it was cheeks. They showed you tonight. It was cheeks. They showed you that. It was cheeks. I've written a note to myself. I got the note right here. Could y'all read that note? Because I didn't want to forget to talk about this. Does Brad Holmes not see what teams do to Goff with the pass rush? Does he not see it? Because I know he goes to the games. I know he watches. I know he sits up in the press box and watches, or in the suite and watches the games. I know that. I know Brad does. But we good. Because we got Tyus Wheat. We got Tyrus Lacey. Maybe it was Tyus or Tyrus. I don't know. I don't give a damn. Okay? Tyrus Wheat, Tyrus the Virus, and Tyus Lacey. I just talked about Shannon Sharp not knowing names, so I gotta make sure I do better. We got some guys from the Jags. And they're Jags. Marcus Davenport. We mother effing good. Marcus Davenport is back. No stats. None. Because he's supposed to be the one that is funneling pressure to Hutch. They don't care about Marcus Davenport. Anybody out there that still thinks that Hutch is better than freaking Micah Parsons, stop that bullish. Stop it. Micah Parsons is a first ballot Hall of Famer. And we let that man go to freaking Green Bay. Micah Parsons. I don't care about money, the contract. Micah Parsons went to Green Bay. Where the hell was Brad Holmes? I'm tired of being the one. Every freaking time there's a trade that happens. Now, the Micah Parsons trade, yeah, that was a big trade. Yeah, you had to. Oh, no, hell no. But you know what they did? They stopped us from getting there. Because they have us in a division with Micah freaking Parsons. Frank Ragnow coming back, right? Is Frank Ragnow going to help you stop? Is he going to help Micah Parsons stop beating Taylor Decker? Is he going to help Micah Parsons stop getting around Penei Sewell on the edge? Maybe. Micah Parsons yesterday had 8 QB pressures. He had 2.5 sacks. What did Hutch do? Did he sniff? Did he get close enough to Jordan Love to tell me what kind of perfume he was wearing? Did he get close enough? Jordan Love wearing that Victoria Don't Tell Nobody. Did he get close enough? Oh yeah, I said perfume. I'm not going to dignify it with saying cologne. This pass rush ain't been good. Oh, but we good because we're second in freaking sacks. When were we second in sacks? Week number 2? Don't nobody give a damn about what happened in week number 2. Let me ask you guys a question. If Hutch has a week number 2 game for the ages and he gets 10 sacks in week number 2 and he finishes his season with 10 sacks, did week number 2 actually freaking matter? Did it matter? Oh, he had 10 sacks this season. Yeah, he didn't get a single sack in the other 16 games. Does anybody care about week number 2? If we were second in sacks in week number 12, we'd be talking about something. We ain't talking about nothing right now. What are we, 10th? There was no pressure on Jordan Love. You're talking about Hutch talking about, oh yeah, he likes to drift in the pocket. He's loose in the booty. I'm tired of freaking Jordan Love with his dumbass face, his dumbass fadeaway throws, all this bullcrap, bro. Those are bad passes. It's a bad way to play football. Make him pay for it. Make him pay. We ain't making nobody pay. Why is the quarterback not on the ground? Trade deadline, we good. Beginning of the season, final roster cuts, we good. We don't need Zadarius Smith. We don't need Jalen Phillips. We don't need anybody because the guys that we got, Dan Campbell trusts in these guys. What are the guys doing when it comes to getting to the passer? You had Dontavian Wicks out there looking like goddamn freaking Megatron. Jerry Rice. T.O. Dontavian Wicks. Romeo Dobbs with his waterhead ass. What are we doing? And I hate the Packers' current roster because they're so lame. Freaking Jordan Love is a lame ass. Dontavian Wicks. Romeo Dobbs is another person whose face I hate. He's got dirty braids. He wears a waterhead helmet. How are you letting this swaggerless monkey? How are you letting this? And if y'all don't know the swaggerless monkey thing, it's Rick Ross, 50 Cent. Don't you know? Okay. How are we losing to these people? How? Insult to injury. They wear yellow and green. It's an entire swaggerless team. Full of lames. The freaking fans are called cheeseheads. They wear cheese on their head. What are we doing? They have the ugliest uniforms in the entire NFL. Most bitch ass beta male coach. I'm sorry. And we're losing to that team. Jordan Love is not the third coming of Brett Favre. He is not the next coming of freaking Aaron Rodgers. He's not that guy. But you're making him look like that guy because you are not pressuring him. Guys, I told you the teams that they struggled with and the teams that they lost to, the freaking Panthers, the Arizona Cardinals, the freaking Browns. Brother, if he was that guy, he'd just carve them up. Their offense has not been great. We read the numbers. Their offense has not been great statistically. They've found ways to win. It's been hard. It's been ugly because he's not that guy. He's a mid-ass quarterback, and you made him look like a freaking Hall of Famer. You made him look like the guy, the person that everyone was gobbling and gargling after a half a season, the first season that he started. You made him look that way because you can't rush the passer. You can't get any. Cannot win a football game in which, if the team is good, now the Giants aren't good, so we won that game in overtime, but you cannot win a game against a good team when you will not, when you refuse, when you cannot, when you do not rush the damn passer. Get pressure on him. Make him uncomfortable. Make him make poor decisions. It's Jordan Love. Jordan Love's entire career is a poor decision. I told y'all today was not the day. I told y'all today was not the day. I'm gonna get to y'all comments because I could go on for another hour. Okay, I'm gonna get to y'all comments. I know there's a lot of them. Super chats are appreciated. They're not demanded, but you know, if you got a comment that you need to get read, super chat. All right. Exactly. I'll be right one day too for both. What up, though, Efog? The Bears getting better. Our team regressing. Wait till players like Gibbs want to play for Ben again. I don't think that will happen. I don't think that will happen. Osama bin Johnson tore off his shirt for the locker room celebration. It was absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, he's a character. He's not a real human. Saddest part is that I now have to root for Green Bay to sweep the Bears to give the Lions a better chance to make the playoffs. Right. So now, yeah, that's even worse. Osama bin Johnson is an ultra soy. I'm not scared of a bear. Oh, it don't matter. We don't have to be afraid of them because we put ourselves in a hole, in a position. Sounds going in and out. Is this? I don't know. I've got it. I haven't muted anything. Can y'all hear me? Osama Ben Johnson looked like he was trying way too hard to show that he actually has emotions. That's what psychopaths do. I've always thought he looked like a serial killer. I do remember that. Both lines need improvement. Was just wondering if he didn't pay Hutch and grab Parsons Super Bowl DL. Probably. I'm the biggest Hutch fan, but kid has to be able to beat backup tackles. Got paid, now produce. Facts. What are they doing? Collecting a paycheck. Facts. Plot twist. In 2 years, news breaks that JG and Melvin were tied to the mob and sabotaged our franchise. Crazy documentary would be insane. Wondering if the Lions could replace Dan with bench. Yeah, okay. The first two drives were their margin 35-31. Green Bay peaked last year. Crazy to think the Lions going back in the cellar. Sucks to say it, but it's coming. Um, it's looking like it. Love was making turkey sandwiches in the pocket. Yep, because he had all the time in the world. 1 million a sack. Show me 3 sacks. All right. Listen. So any of you guys that watch Syndicate, you know he is on Brad's home on his head, on his neck. I feel the same way because Brad Holmes, while he's done a phenomenal job with certain players, drafting certain players, you got to do something more than just draft guys, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't care about sustained success, you know, because we get seasons like this in which we may not even make the playoffs. I don't care about always having a chance. I look. You think so? The Philly fans, as I told you about, the Philly fans, they expect more. They expect more from their team. They expect more from their GM. Howie Roseman makes moves because he knows that the climate in Philly is always hot. And I'm not talking about the weather. I'm talking about the seat that he sits on. He's been fired before. They fired a Super Bowl winning head coach, the year after he won the Super Bowl. So Howie Roseman knows that he works for the fans. Howie Roseman knows that. Jeffrey Lurie has made that, the owner of the team, has made that very clear. In Philadelphia, we win Super Bowls and we pursue Super Bowls. He has 3 Super Bowls in 8 years. 2 of them victories. One of them a very near victory. And then last year they got their get back, okay, against a team that beat them before. In Detroit, all the teams have championships except for the Detroit Lions. The Tigers have championships. The Pistons have championships. The Red Wings got a boatload of championships to the point where it's called Hockey Town, USA. Detroit is called Hockey Town, USA. At what point, and I know we did the Millen Man March. I know we did all this stuff because we were terrible and we wanted it to change. Because we were 0-16 and we wanted it to change. We wanted Millen out of here. But at what point do we stop accepting that Brad Holmes is the best GM in Lions history? I told you, and I say this all the time, guys. The best GM in Lions history before Brad Holmes was Martin Mayhew. Martin Mayhew made 2 critical errors. He drafted Eric Ebron over Aaron Donald, and he failed to get an extension signed with Ndamukong Suh. He failed to re-sign Ndamukong Suh. Now, whatever you want to say about it taking two to tango, and it was Sue, it was Sue, it was Sue. I've never heard anybody ask for Martin Mayhew to come back. I've until last year, until he officially retired. Like, didn't he retire this year? Right, officially, because he said he was going to do that. He promised his father on his deathbed that he would do that. Right, until he retired officially, there were still people asking Sue to come back. There were still people hopeful in the fan base, like seriously, that Sue would come back here. Up until this year, they saw this man at training camp, or in a preseason game, and were begging for him to come back. And it was a picture of like not him, but it looked like him or something like that. I don't know. And people still were asking him to come back. So whatever hatred that the fan base claims that they had for Ndamukong Suh, they didn't really have it. They didn't really. Let me see what y'all got going on. It's not strong enough to rip a shirt. You think he cut holes in it before? Speaking of Osama bin Johnson, speaking of the run game, Osama bin Johnson had two running backs go over 100 yards against the Philadelphia Eagles. What did our running backs do? Is it just because we don't have Frank Ragnow? Is that it? Is that it? Is it Frank Ragnow that gets Monty and Gibbs over 200 yards? Or is it the scheme? Does Osama bin Johnson do the scheme better? Did he take that scheme over to the Chicago Bears and teach it to them? When we beat down the Chicago Bears earlier this year in week number 2, it was a thorough beatdown. It was a whooping. But I was asking y'all during the game, why is DeAndre Swift averaging 6 yards a carry? Now, they were getting beat so bad that it didn't matter. But why was DeAndre Swift averaging 6 yards per carry? And that's another thing. Well, we're talking about Brad Holmes. We're talking about we good. We love the names on this defensive line. We love names like Aiden Hutchinson. We love names like DJ Reader. We love names like Aleem McNeil. We've been getting gashed in the run game the last few weeks. So if we can't stop the run and we can't rush the passer, what is our defense supposed to do? Did we bottle up Saquon Barkley, or was their offensive coordinator so inept and their offense so inept that that's just what it was? Now that you've seen the Bears defense, which no one would say is as good as the Lions defense or had been as good as the Lions defense to this point in the season, when you watch them hold the Eagles to 15 points, is it just the Eagles suck that bad on offense? Okay, look, I'm gonna pull up a number because y'all like numbers. Hold on, let me pull this up. The Lions are now 12th in total defense. You know where the Bears are in total defense? Does anybody want to take a guess? And we were top 10, right? Before these last two games, we took a significant drop in the last two games because we were like number 8 when we played the Giants, right? We were number 8 when we played the Giants. So then we went to number 10, and then we played the Packers, and now we're number 12. Anybody want to guess? Tell me in the chat where the Bears rank. Where do the Bears rank? Don't look it up. Just tell me. Like, what's your guess? I'm gonna read your chats and then I'm gonna see if y'all got guesses. Yes, both trenches need help, but Brad isn't good at drafting those positions. Besides Aleem, Hutch, and Sewell, nothing there. Has Aleem done a whole lot since he's been back? I just want to ask the question. 160 million pesos, amigo. This O line was built by Quintricia. Unfortunately, besides Sewell, they were from that era. Okay, so we got to give Brad 3 more years to build an offensive line that has his touch on it. I mean, okay. Chicago just destroyed Philadelphia. We were in there 7-5. Mm-hmm. Why are we giving up so fast? The season is not over. I think we need to go back to pound on no one's giving up. We're tired of seeing this. That's all. It's not about giving up. We're tired of so you haven't been here all year unless you have and you've just been lurking. But when you've been calling for things like a pass rush, when you've been calling for things like offensive line help, and then you don't get it, and then you're 7-5, and you're now third in your division, and the Bears just beat the freaking Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah. And you just lost to the Packers in a very winnable game. Yeah. It freaking sucks. Why did we have to play AFC champs and lose an NFC champs? I don't know. In reality, I know I will be buried before the Lions win a championship. I have accepted it. I mean, I don't know, maybe. If Brad Holmes is our greatest GM, that bar honestly isn't that high. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sue was a bad guy, still a bad guy. Should have traded him for assets. Should have done something. But that was the handling of the Sue contract was the second and the last strike. You're supposed to get 3 strikes, but it was the second and last strike. It was the final nail in Martin Mayhew's coffin. 4 of the 5 on linemen in Chicago playing great football. I just want to know what they are ranked in total defense. Sue wasn't bad. Y'all just soft. LB Jack Campbell, maybe all pro now. Maybe. Sue makes bad decisions as a human being. Yes. He was good at football. Sure. Being a good guy. Never. Run the 3-4 defense. Gotta cover. I don't know if we should run the 3-4 defense because then we definitely won't be able to stop the run. You don't have the personnel. I'm just not ignorant. Okay. Yeah. Britt, do you really think the Packers are going to beat the Bears now? You're being delusional. 21st is incorrect. Williams has over 2,500 yards passing, and that's a feat for the Chicago Bears. As old tight end check, ha ha ha. Okay. Is Ratledge soft? You know why I'm angry? Because Osama bin Johnson left a lump of coal and made the Chicago Bears into a diamond. Um, yeah, that and again, when we're saying F. Ben Johnson and we're talking about he's no longer, and that's why I call him Osama bin Johnson. You know, there were fans that didn't understand it. Now you are. Brad drafts well, but it's cheap, and that's our downfall. Packers fan here, number 1, 8 yesterday. LOL. Hey, whatever. Hey, you're a Packers fan. Uh, Broderick Rakestraw. So no, that's not drafting well. He did. I'm not gonna do that, bro. But you know, everybody that you love on this team, he drafted him. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that if you love Jack Campbell, if you love Brian Branch, if you love Jameer Gibbs, if you love JMO, if you love Hutch, if you love, freaking Terrion Arnold, he drafted him. He's whiffed, yes, but that's not the problem. It's when you whiff and then you double down on the whiff. That's the problem. 27th is correct, Duncan. You looked it up. But the Bears are 27th ranked defense. And they held the Eagles to 15 points. It's the Eagles. It's not what you're doing on defense. They suck at offense. Their offensive coordinator sucks. He calls the plays. He sucks. They've been bad all season. But you know what? Their defense has been keeping them afloat. So they can score points like 15 points or 16 points and still win a game. Because their defense has been keeping them afloat. When are we going to be able to lean on our defense? Seriously. When? How many years has it been? You know the last time we had a top defense, like a really, really top defense that was like you could count on them? We're talking about Sue. It was 2014. This defense is top 10 or has been top 10 all season, but when it has mattered most, where are they? They're on a freaking milk carton. When it matters most, Hutch is on a milk carton. When it matters most, Aleem McNeil is on a milk carton. Davenport's been on a freaking milk carton the entire season. He hasn't played most of the season. Is he on the injury report? Enough time has passed for something to surface for Davenport. And all of this, we're good, we're good, we're good. He came back and had 0 stats, bro. He came back and has 0 stats. Nothing. Is Brad doing things in spite of the fans? I feel like he is so arrogant. He is upset with the part of the fan base that questions the way he's building the team. I don't know if he's doing things in spite of the fans, but he's doing things the way that he wants to do them, and he thinks he knows best, which he's gotten the team to a point that we were at in my childhood when I was watching Barry Sanders go to the NFC Championship game. He hasn't gotten us further than that. He hasn't. So until you get me to a Super Bowl, get a pass rush. Until you get me to a Super Bowl, protect your quarterback and stop using 2 third-round picks on a wide receiver. Until you get me to a Super Bowl, stop drafting projects in the 3rd round. Until you get me to a Super Bowl, stop using 3rd-round picks to draft a project in the 4th round. Until you get me to a Super Bowl, stop drafting cornerbacks who can't get on the field. Until you get me to a Super Bowl, stop signing cornerbacks who can't get on the field. Until you can get me to a Super Bowl, stop signing defensive ends who play 5 games in 2 years. That's what Brad needs to understand. Until you get me to a Super Bowl, stop being inactive at the trade deadline. And you're not inactive at the trade deadline. You just don't make too many impact trades. You traded for Zadarius Smith, and then you freaking cut him. What was the reason for that? All offseason, we talked about, is Big Z coming back? Oh, blah 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 blah. And then you have fans with the nerve, once he signs with Philly and then retires because he doesn't want to play there, and his heart is no longer in it because his heart was set on coming back to Detroit, had the nerve to say, "See, Brad won because he's cooked." No. Do you honestly believe that Zadarius Smith is not on this roster right now if we would have kept him or re-signed him? You think he retires? For what? All of that social media, all of that freaking working out in his Lions helmet on the treadmill, all of that, and then he's going to retire from the Lions? You're crazy if you believe that. You're insane. Absolutely insane. Nope, it was 27th. Melvin talks down to the media and fans and has done so for a long time. Yeah, he takes victory laps. Why are you taking victory laps? Until you get me to a Super Bowl, don't take no more victory laps, Brad. I don't want to hear it. I don't care about it. You haven't done anything. You've built a roster that can compete for a Super Bowl, and we didn't capitalize in the time that you built it. You let Osama bin Johnson walk out of the door, all of this stuff, and now we're freaking 7-5 on the outside looking in. If you're not worried about the Cowboys coming in here, I'm sorry, Dak Prescott is playing better football than Jared Goff. You're not going to be able to cover CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens if you're playing the way that you're playing. If you're not going to get any pressure on Dak Prescott, and he's got 2 top 10 wide receivers that he can throw the football to, good luck. Where's your disguise? You know, like, the way we play football is very arrogant. Right? It's either arrogant or it's simple. And we talk about how Shep is such a visionary. Bro, what stunts do we run? What games do we run at the line of scrimmage? If we're running them, it ain't working. Most of the time, you see people just line up and just try to go straight. No, where are the stunts? Where are the cross blitzes? Where are the zone dogs? Where is all of this stuff? Where is it? All we do is line up and play man on man. The freaking 2 times in a row on the goal line, they call man beaters and beat our man coverage because they knew that we were going to be in man coverage. On that freaking pass off when they had Romeo Dobbs cross under, why didn't freaking Amik Robertson and DJ Reed just drop back and play a zone delayed man, right? A react zone. Why didn't they just do that? Because if you do that, then no one that's cutting inside, no one that's cutting outside has an advantage. Because all you had to wait for was half a second, and then Amik Robertson sees that Romeo Dobbs is breaking down, and then because he's on the outside, and Christian Watson is going inside. That's DJ Reed. And then both of them are covered automatically. Why don't we do anything different? Why don't we just line up and play man coverage? And say, my guys are better than your guys. We are very arrogant at football. My guys are better than your guys, and our fan base does the same crap. My guys are better than your guys. We think our players are better than every player that ever played football in the NFL that's not on the Detroit Lions. I'm just saying. Mailbag time, y'all. Go ahead and get your mailbag questions. I'm gonna get through your. I'm gonna get through your comments. I'm gonna go through the mailbag, or I'm gonna get through your comments, and then I'm gonna get to your mailbag questions, and I'm gonna stab out. This ain't a great day, bro. It's not at all. Yeah, has never won anything in his life. It doesn't make sense. Facts. You know, when his mentor Les Snead is effing them picks and winning the Super Bowl, and then Les Snead has the nerve to go out there and replenish the roster and be looking like the best team in the NFC. They won a Super Bowl, didn't make the playoffs the next year, and then they were right back into the playoffs. You gonna tell me you're gonna tell me in Detroit you wouldn't do that? You wouldn't F them picks, win a Super Bowl, miss the playoffs the next year? We don't give a damn. We won a Super Bowl. And then you go right back to the playoffs the year after that? What's so bad about that? What's so bad about that? I'd miss the playoffs after the Super Bowl. I'd miss the playoffs for 5 straight years after the Super Bowl. After winning a Super Bowl, I don't care. We won a Super Bowl. Year number 5, okay, it's time to get back. Les Snead did it in Super Bowl, no playoffs, playoffs. In the time that we've made the trade, the Los Angeles Rams have won the Super Bowl, missed the playoffs, and then been in contention for the Super Bowl for the next 3 years. Let me ask you a question then. So you don't have St. Brown or Laporta. What would you do to fix our offense? You don't defense pass rusher to tell me how you fix this. I don't. I don't know what that means. The offense is an easy fix. We have JMO and we have Tesla, right? We got, you know what I'm saying? We got Gibbs and Monty still. You know, spreading the ball around. You saw when Amon-Ra St. Brown went out, Jameson Williams had 7 catches for 141 yards and a touchdown. Career high. We've got a superstar over there. I told y'all this before. No, he didn't. Sorry about it, I forgot. I like most of Brad's picks, but I hate his 3rd round projects. Facts. And that's what we're talking about. That's been my biggest criticism of Brad Holmes as far as the draft. Is that we're wasting 3rd round picks. We're wasting, and it's like an every year situation. Hendon Hooker turned out to be a terrible pick because the player he just can't play quarterback in the NFL. Every year we've done this. He won't drive the damn D line. Facts. I told y'all before. I think I told y'all recently. The Jags screwed us. the Jags screwed us by allowing the hometown hero Aiden Hutchinson to fall to us. They screwed us. Didn't say Packers would beat the Bears, but now have to root for them too. Brad drafted Hutch. That's it. But Ahmed Hassanin. Hello guys. Remember, we good because Marcus Davenport's coming back. 0 stats. Ahmed Hassanin is going to come in and be Tom Brady on the defensive edge position. Still don't know what he can do. Hasn't played. They need to stop playing man coverage when we can't get any pass rush. It's hilarious. Facts. Sue Fairley combo was nice. It was. It was very nice. I told you. At least Martin Mayhew would draft the defensive line, you know? All their DBs never turn their head around their joke. They play man against Dallas. Dak will throw for 600. Brad to me can make a bad team good, but he doesn't have the tools to make a good team great and a Super Bowl calendar. That seems accurate right now. Brad Holmes is not being 100 with us. Nope. Traded picks for Carlton Davis and let him leave by not offering him a competitive contract. Right. And we love DJ Reed, right? But I think Carlton Davis is better. Just, I've got an ice box where my heart used to be, and now it's so cold. Shout out Amari. What up, though, Tactical Sport? This team isn't creative at all on either side. Less creative on the offense than we have been in recent years. Facts. Hutch seemed to be short-winded a lot yesterday. He might have been too much turkey. Shep was more willing to run zone early in the season. Are we running less man because we don't have Kirby? And the less zone you mean is possible. Yep. More so a Meek though. I think Lions have the best safety duo in the league, but I wouldn't pay two safeties top end money. Um, I, again, we have our favorites and everything, and it's harder with these guys because they do the whole family thing and all that stuff. But I just, you got to make some changes, bro. You can't pay everybody. You can pay everybody, but should you want to? That's the question. I'm still celebrating the Michigan Natty. Don't care how they won it, cheating or not. Don't care they won it. Facts. Brad has shown us that his philosophy has flaws. Hope he's learning from his mistakes, and we may just have to fall on our faces so he can wake up and stop smelling his own salts. Connor Stallion should be in the College Football Hall of Fame. Mailbag, who remembers the Super Bowl shuffle from the Chicago Bears of '85? Here's the updated version. He's Poofty QB known as I remember it. I don't remember the words. Known as Kalen. Caleb, I paint my nails almost every day. My topic is terrible tonight. It's all good. Mailbag, when did Tom Brady officially get cloned? I know he's invested a ton of money into a company and even used gene splicing to bring back a clone of his old dog. I don't know that any of that is true. I don't trust Tom and on some biblical stuff. The Lions season just ended yesterday. Can't believe the Bears have already passed the Lions. I can't believe it either. But there are things that that you got to do, and you got to be willing to do as far as player procurement. And Brad Holmes just showed you he's not willing. So while everyone else tries to make moves to win now, because look, sustained success doesn't make it any difference. There's a crop of young players coming in every year. There are free agents every year. There are people getting traded every year. Sustained success means nothing. It means nothing because, as I just showed you, Les Snead said F them picks, won a Super Bowl, didn't make the playoffs the next season, and has been back in the playoffs and in Super Bowl contention every year. And if you're telling me that the Los Angeles Rams can't win one this year, you're crazy. I'm gonna lose my mind if Stafford gets two freaking Super Bowls, bro. Two. I'm gonna lose my freaking mind because Stafford didn't do a damn thing here, and he's gonna be celebrated so much after leaving here. He's gonna be in the Hall of Fame off of mostly the stats that he got while he was here. Stat Padford. And then they're gonna freaking put him in the freaking Hall of Fame because he won 2 Super Bowls in LA. Yeah, I'll be salty for sure. Robot. He's a robot. I hate the Chicago is winning. Facts. I hate it so much. and programmed to run his mouth about Detroit every chance he calls our games. Brad Holmes should have gone balls to the wall to build a Super Bowl team. Facts. Remember, Bears were always offseason champs, now in position to be NFC champs. At some point, you got to stop being the offseason champs and you got to be the NFC champs. But, you know, again, we have to stop being the Brad Holmes champs. Oh, Brad Holmes is so wonderful. He does this, that, and the third thing. What have we won? Okay. So we're turning up the heat. We're turning up the pressure. Get somebody in here that's going to make moves, bro. If Brad, if you're not going to make moves, I don't want to hear about you. You've tried to get everybody. You've made calls on everybody. Danielle Hunter, Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, Trey Hendrickson. Oh, you've tried, but you've not done any of it. You haven't done it. That's all you do is try. Everyone can thank Melvin if that were to ever happen. Melvin alone. Hate to say it, but it looks like MCDC has lost a team or something. St. Brown ain't been right. Craig Reynolds signing with the Patriots, and they've been trash in the trenches. I don't think he's lost the team. I just don't. I just don't think this team is what everybody thought it was, and we didn't make any improvements. If we think that we're just going to sign all of Brad Holmes' draft picks and we're just going to be good, again, if your vision is for sustained success, talk to me when you're worried about winning now. Because nobody cares about sustained success. I really don't. You know, I just don't care about it. It doesn't mean anything to me. I want to see a Super Bowl. I want to see a Super Bowl win. I want to see the confetti, blue and white and silver, falling all over the field. That's what I want to see. I don't care about getting to the playoffs 10 years in a row. It doesn't matter. The sustained success model is now, and we might not make the playoffs this year. So then what does it matter? It doesn't. Getting to the playoffs is like it's a participation trophy. You got there. Okay, great. And we had so many years in Detroit where we didn't make the playoffs, and a lot of fans are okay with this. We're okay. We're fine. Okay. Oh, we're making the playoffs now. Who gives a damn? Do you have what it takes to win once you get there? That's the question. So you think we need to go to the 4-6 defense to stop the run? We need to rush the passer. We need to rush the passer. We need to put pressure on the passer. We need to make the passer make bad decisions and throw interceptions. We need to make the passer make bad decisions and throw incompletions. That's what we need. Whatever defense gets us into that, whatever personnel fits a defense that will allow us to do that, we need that personnel and we need that defense. That's it. Because everything else right now it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Stappers Hall of Fame Little Shrine area just has a pic of Melvin in Canton, Ohio. Unfortunately, I think Sheila is content because Lions now the highest ticket in football. I mean, she seemed to want to win, you know. But then again, she had the chutzpah, you know, to fire Patricia and Quinn. You know, nobody wants Dan Campbell gone. But, you know, Melvin, it's a different story. Melvin, you know, you got some work to do. Who is this person? I don't know who he is, but he's getting banned. This is my show. You gonna come to this is my show, bro. If you don't like it, you can go. I made sure you went though. I've conceded this season. I'm now in the let's fire Melvin mode. He can go back to renting cars. Hey, somebody, a young up and comer, somebody who is just the commitment to winning now. That's all I want. And as I said, the Lions fans, we need to be in our Philly phase right now. We need to be in our Philly phase. We're not accepting it. I said at the start of the season, this was a step back season because you are rolling 2 rookie guards and a guard at center. Brad looking ahead, not in the present. I need the present. I need him to look in the present. Appreciate you. Sheila eats cream of wheat for dinner and goes to bed by 6 p.m. Brad needs to be held accountable by someone one day. Going with 2 rookies at guard and Glasgow at center with Decker injured and less than himself all year was never a recipe for success. It was never. It was never. Sheila is content because her meds tell her so. Who's this? Someone is trying to is trying to get back in. Not her fault. She's just old and needs someone to hold Melvin accountable. Maybe my cousin Sheila Ham said it not all Brad Holmes' fault. The players just don't give a damn. You know what? At some point, the players just aren't good enough. That's it. You're just not good enough, and you got to get somebody else in here. Irv Gotti says, "What up, though? Can you please advise me why is Brad so quiet? Do you think Sheila is limiting Brad and Dan?" So that is an angle, right? Because Sheila doesn't have all the money that the other owners have, and it's about being cash rich. If you're gonna go sign the best players, it's really not about the salary cap. It's about being cash rich. So that is a that's a thing. But what I would say is this: if Sheila was so embarrassed by the performance of the team under Quinn Trisha, and then she comes out at 1-6, and she tells you that Brad and Dad are my guys, and we're gonna stick by them. Trust the process is gonna happen. At what point, Sheila, do you look around the league and you see everybody making moves? Everybody hates Jerry Jones, and everybody thought he was old and senile and stupid for trading Micah Parsons. But he's got that team in position. He's got that team in position. He went and got people. He said, "We need a receiver. Let's go get George Pickens." And everybody killed him. I killed him for it because George Pickens was a crash out. But Jerry knew that George Pickens just needs a quarterback. Right? He knew it. Okay. He said, "We want to get better at stopping the run." He just gets Kenny Clark in there and then gets Quinnen Williams. And then what's his name? Omarion Overshown. He comes back because he was out with a season-ending injury before. He's back now, and that defense has been playing so much better. I'm just saying. Oh, we're not disrespecting Sheila. I think that Mr. Detroit City is just being he's being funny. Jalen Carter spit on the wrong guy. Thought Melvin was out there. How did the staff lose this team so badly? You don't have a team. We have players. I don't know that the staff lost the team. I don't see that the staff lost the team. I don't see players that aren't playing hard. I don't see players that are quitting on the field. I see players that are just not good enough. You're not performing well enough. That's it. You can see when a team quits on a coach. That's not what happened here. Being down by 7 points and just, bro, phenomenal throw and catch by Jordan Love's stupid face and Dontavian Wicks, because Brian Branch had the coverage. He was there. He got there at the same time the ball got there. He was on his back. He was in phase. That's not what you're seeing from a team that's quitting. No, so no, come on, no, no. Sorry, Phil. I really don't understand why Melvin thought that Hutch, a bunch of run stopping tackles, and the ghost of Davenport were going to generate sacks. I don't know. That's the question. I don't know. I don't understand. You got to pay to play. Are we willing to lay out the cash? That's my question. That's my question. I think the Aleem injury really hurt, and Brad went DT in round 1 because of it. The team would have been better off going OL in rounds 1 and 2. Facts. These are facts. Nobody disrespecting Sheila. If you read it, we are giving Melvin the respect he deserves. I really don't understand why Melvin thought that Hutch. Yeah, I got it. Sheila is doing just fine in her role. Someone in the organization who understands football, though, needs to hold Melvin accountable. Guys, I'm about to stab out. I have to watch the Bears to see the Lions offense. I'm about to stab out. I gotta go. I gotta make runs today. Make sure if you are not subscribed to the Motor City Cats, go over there and sign up to the Motor City Cats. All right. Because if you're not subscribed to my channel, what are you doing? You know, what are you doing? Okay. So I'm gonna give you the link right now. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Please make sure you go over there and you subscribe. We're on the road back to 1,000. We had some hiccups. We made some bad decisions. We joined some networks we shouldn't have joined. We aligned ourselves with some people we shouldn't have aligned ourselves with. But we back now. We back. We back rolling. All right. So anyway, make sure you subscribe to the Motor City Cats on YouTube. Hit that link, subscribe. I appreciate everyone that came through, stopped by, hung out for a drinking conversation. I did have a drink before it's in the freezer because I didn't want to drink it. It wasn't warm. It wasn't cold enough. Anyway, man, we'll see y'all next week, man. Monday we'll be back. We'll be talking about the Cowboys, whatever the case may be. And it is what it is. You rock with me. I appreciate you, Mr. Detroit City, and I see what you did there. This show rocks. We rock. I see exactly what you did there. You know what I mean? I think if serious adjustments are not made and the needed pieces are picked, players will want to leave and not want to come here. I think we've got enough grace for a 1 year downturn. Now, if the downturn is consistent 2-3 years, then I think that you'd be right. But again, appreciate you all. Once again, the Motor City Cats are indeed back at it. We came to give you stats, not none of that static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic and make sure you subscribe to the Motor City Cats. Peace.